Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. And we are continuing to look at our wonderful Christmas carols, and we are continuing to look today at Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Remember the words of that first verse. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. And in these wonderful words of Charles Wesley, we want to go a little bit deeper in that last line of the first verse. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Now, why in Bethlehem? What was special about that? I mean, was it just it could have been as much anywhere else as whatever? It could have been Dublin as easily as it could have been Bethlehem. Well, somebody famously said no, because you couldn't have found 3 wise men in Dublin, but we'll move right along and won't discuss that. But Bethlehem was particularly chosen for several reasons as the place of Christ's birth. You know, the word Bethlehem itself has a double meaning in Hebrew. It can either mean the house of bread, or it can mean the house of war. And Jesus, in his first coming, he came as the bread of life to save the world. But when he returns the second time, he will come in wrath and judgment, and as a mighty conqueror and a mighty general. So we need to remember that. But of course, Bethlehem was prophesied in the Old Testament as the birthplace of the Messiah. In Micah chapter 5 and verse 2, it says, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, of ancient times." And there were several reasons why Bethlehem is so important in a symbolic sense as the birthplace of Jesus Christ. First of all, Bethlehem was the place in the book of Genesis where Rachel gave birth to Benjamin and then died. And so Bethlehem was forever marked in the minds of the Jewish people as a place that gave life, but a place that also cost a life. That Rachel laid down her own life in bringing Benjamin, that youngest son of Jacob, into the world. And in the same way, the one who was to be born in Bethlehem was to give his life so we could all receive life. Bethlehem, of course, was also the place where Boaz received Ruth, the Moabitess, and made her his wife. Ruth, the outcast, found a home and a place to belong among the people of God. And even though she was from a pagan tribe, she became one of the people of Israel and became an ancestor of Jesus Christ. And you know, this reminds us that Jesus calls the outcast to him. He came to be born in Bethlehem so that while we were yet sinners, he could die for us, because Jesus came to save and to welcome the outcast. Bethlehem is also described by Luke as the city of David, which is actually sort of unusual because throughout the rest of the Old Testament, we hear Jerusalem described as the city of David. How can they both be the city of David? And the answer, of course, is that David conquered Jerusalem so that it became the city of David and the capital city, where his palace was. But David was born and raised in Bethlehem, in the house of Jesse. So how fitting that the son of David would also be born in Bethlehem. One final thing about Bethlehem. Bethlehem was the place where the sacrificial lambs for the temple were born and raised. In fact, the shepherds that saw the angels and heard their song when Christ was born, the shepherds that first heard "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," they were the shepherds who were caring for the lambs, the spotless lambs that would be sacrificed in the temple. Those lambs that spoke about the one who was to come, Jesus Christ, the Lamb of God, who takes away the sins of the world. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.